So today we are going to be starting a new chapter. It's called Analytical Geometry. And we are going to be looking at the coordinate plane or the Cartesian plane, because that's where a lot of the analytical geometry we do takes place. It takes place on a Cartesian plane. Okay, now the Cartesian plane is split up into 4 quadrants, and that's where the word quadrant comes from, 4 different parts. Okay, this quadrant over here that's labeled A, we call that quadrant 1, and we normally write it in Roman numerals. 1. Over here, we're going to get number 2, quadrants 2. Down here, this is quadrant 3. And over here, this is quadrant 4. Right. Now, if you read what's been written here in the yellow, the blue, the green, and the purple, you will notice that our first quadrant always has a positive X and a positive Y value. And that's because of where our X and our Y are positioned. Our X's are all positive and all our Y's are positive as well. Okay, our second quadrant will have a negative X value and a Y and a positive Y value. Our third quadrant over here is going to have a negative X value and a negative Y value. And our fourth quadrant will have a positive X value and a negative Y value. Okay. Before I continue, because I know quite a lot of you know this or you might know this already, can I just get a thumbs up or a thumbs down in the chat? How many of you guys have already done how many of you guys have already done analytical geometry at school? Hi, Chinamiram. Yes, you are on the leaderboard. Very well done. I think you just missed it. You just missed it. Well done. Okay, I'm seeing quite a lot of thumbs up, but I am seeing a few thumbs down as well. So we'll try and look at it. We'll take it a little bit slow so we can get to what we need to, okay, and make sure that you guys understand. All right, okay, so we're going to be looking at the distance formula. Okay, we're going to be looking at the distance formula today, and what the distance formula does is it helps us to measure the distance between 2 coordinates that are sitting on the Cartesian plane. Like in this particular question, if I want to calculate the value for AB, I'm going to use this distance formula over here, the one that they've written over here in blue. Distance is x2 minus x1 plus y2 minus y1. Now, where I get these x1 and x2 values is I'm going to look at each of these coordinates, A and B, and I'm going to choose which one is x and which one is y, x1 and which one is x2 and which one is y1 and y2. So I'm going to say B over here is x1. And if this is x1 over here, the x value for B is x1, the y value for B must be y1. I can't decide that one will be x1 and the other one will be y2. The x1 and the y1 need to come from the same coordinate. And then I'm going to call A over here x2 and y2. Okay, so if I want to calculate for the distance of AB, I'm going to look for the square root of my x2 value, which is 2, minus my x1 value, which is 5, all squared, plus my y2 value is 3, minus my y1 value, which is 7, all of that squared. And then we're going to calculate for the square root. 2 minus 5 will give me negative 3, all squared, plus 3 minus 7 is negative 4, all squared, which is equal to negative 3 squared will give me 9, plus negative 4 squared is 16, and that is the square root of 25, which is equal to 5. Very well done, Monica. All right, so this is quite self-explanatory. Can you guys calculate for CD for me? Now remember, you get to choose which one is x1 and x2, and x1 and y1 and x2 and y2. You'll see that it doesn't matter where you start. Even if I had done this, even if I had switched these around, if I had made this x1 and y1 and this part here x2 and y2, my answer still would have been the same. Okay, so guys, can you calculate for CD for me and just hold off on your answer? I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes. Do not put your answer in the chat yet. I'm just going to give everyone 2 minutes to get used to the formula, especially those of you who haven't done analytical geometry before. And then in 2 minutes time, I'll ask you guys to put your answers in the chat. Okay. All right, guys, you can pop your answer in the chat for me. Sure, I think half of you guys had your fingers over the send button because look at that. Sure, amazing. All right. Okay, so remember, guys, the way we write things in mathematics is quite important. So we do need to make sure that we're writing things in the correct order so that you get all the marks that you need. Okay, so it doesn't really matter in what direction I do them or in what order I do them. I'm going to get the same answer. So I'm going to pick this to be x1 and y1, and this one over here to be x2 and y2. Okay, so I'm going to get x2, which is -2 minus -5 all squared plus my y2 is 1 minus 6 all squared. This is equal to the square root of -2, and then a negative and a negative will give me a positive. So -2 plus 3 will give plus 5 will give me +3 squared plus -5 all squared. This is equal to the square root of 9 plus -5 squared is 25. And this is equal to the square root of 34, which I believe is 5,83 units. Well done, guys, for remembering to write units because we are measuring units. Unless they tell you that it's centimeters or meters or millimeters, you just write units. Okay. Again, guys, if they don't ask you to give them an answer correct to 2 decimal places or an answer to 1 decimal place or something like that, it's very important that we don't just decide to round off, because there are a lot more decimals that come after 5,83. It's quite a long number that comes after that. So just to keep accuracy, in keeping with accuracy, if they don't ask you to round off to a couple of decimals or whatever, leave your answer in square root form, because that is the most accurate answer that you can possibly get. Okay. I hope that makes sense. All right. Okay, I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to answer the following questions for me, and then we can look at this one at the bottom a little bit later. Oh no, what did she do? Okay, there it is. We are not answering this one quite yet. Okay, let's answer questions A, B, C, and D. And when you're done answering them, please pop the dancing lady emoji in the chat for me. You guys have got 5 minutes. Guys, please remember to stay on mute while we're working. Okay, and when you're done, guys, just pop the emoji in the chat for me. All right, guys, I'm going to start putting answers on the screen. You guys can continue working. Those of you who are done, you can just make sure that your answers match mine, and then we'll continue. Okay. My square root signs look so ugly. Need to draw those better. I am very sorry about the noise, guys. I'm just in an area that's just near the highway, and it's not that fun. So if you guys are hearing noises from my side, it's probably because of that. Not 4. Not 4. 9. Okay. Start again. 1 plus 2 whole squared minus 3 whole squared. I'm so glad I see many of you guys are actually done. Okay. I think that would be enough time for everyone to be done at the moment. No, I don't think so. There's quite a lot of us in this class, and I've only got like 16 emojis. There are 50 of us in this class, guys. So I'm expecting 50 answers, 50 dancing lady emojis in the chat, just to show that we're all actually working. So guys, let me know when you're done. Oh, I'm going to run out of space if I put it over there. Put it down here. Tiamo's still busy. Okay, that's okay, Tiamo. Keep going. Thank you, guys. Just equal to the square root of 58. That's okay, Mbali. Welcome. Hi, Monica. What's up?
Ma'am, can you quickly please take it down so I can see
There we go.
the question?
Can you see it? Because it's on my screen.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
can't,
Okay, thank you. Ma'am, I saw, thank you.
Okay. All right, guys, for those of you who are done, these are the 4 answers we were looking for. Please just tell me in the chat, how much did you get a mark out of 4? Let me know how much we got. Excellent, guys. These were quite easy, I think. Sure. If we got 3 out of 4, I hope you guys see where you made a mistake. I just did notice that this part over here may have been a bit confusing for someone. I can tell Chinemiram is quite bored, yes, because it's so easy. Okay, the reason why I got 1 plus 2 over there is because I went 1 minus -2, which then gave me plus 2 in the middle over there. So if you got 3 out of 4, I hope you guys have noticed where you made a bit of an error or where you didn't quite get the question correctly. Okay. Onako, unless they ask for an answer to 1 decimal or to 2 decimal places, it would be in your best interest to leave it in surd form. Okay. All right. Monica, what's up?
Then can I ask, how is d square root 20? Because in the answer, I got 2 square root 5.
Okay, that's because you punched it into your calculator and that's the answer it gave you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So now the thing is, what you've actually done is you've rationalized the surd or you've taken out the squared part of it. And this happens a lot in grade 11. You're going to learn about it in grade 11. Okay, if your answer is not wrong, it just shows that you punched it into your calculator and you didn't go through all the steps in that sense. Okay, so basically what happens here is they will split 20 into 4 times 5. So 4 times 5, I can find the square root of 4, which is 2. So I'm going to take the 2 out, and what I'll have inside the square root left is 5. So that's what your calculator is doing. It's rationalizing the surd, but you don't learn about this until grade 11. Okay. Okay, so the answer is square root 20. If you got 2 root 5, that's also correct, but that's something way beyond your calculator's doing the university maths. Okay, all right. Can I get a thumbs up, thumbs down? How are we feeling about the distance formula? I think it's quite simple. I think it's very simple. And I'm kind of thinking we don't really need to do any more examples on the distance formula. You guys you get it quite easily. Awesome, guys. Amazing. All right, I think yes, 2 root 5 is correct, Tiamo. If you got 2 root 5, that's correct as well. Okay, I still do need you guys to go through the motions though. So if you did get 2 root 5, I'm hoping you wrote all of this down, because because that means this is how you get your marks. We know the answer. The answer can be 2 root 5, yes, but we're not concerned so much in the answer because this is quite an easy thing. We want to make sure that you guys are using the correct steps to get to the answer. Okay, well done, Siamo. Well done. All right, guys. So let's look at the midpoint formula. Now, if we are looking for the midpoint of 2 places, sure, Yenzi, no problem. Okay, if we're looking for the midpoint of 2 places, we're going to look for the middle ground of the 2 of them. So basically, if I had a line and this over here, if this over here was the number 2, I have a number line, and this number over here is 8. If I want to find the middle of 2 and 8, I can count inwards, 1, 2, and then find the middle point of those 2, which I'm thinking might be in the middle of 2 numbers. I'm not even sure. Okay, that would be 5. Actually, it would be 5 right in the middle. Okay, because to get from 2 to 5, I would have to move 3 spaces, and to get from 5 to 8, I would have to move 3 spaces. Or if I want to find the middle of these 2, I don't actually have to look, count from each side and see where the middle is. What I can do is I can take 2 and I can add 8 and I can divide by 2, and that'll give me 5. So I'm going to get 2 plus 8 divided by 2. And that gives me 5. And that's how I figured out that right in the middle of those 2 numbers is 5. And that's where the midpoint formula actually comes from. So we're going to take our x values, we're going to add our 2 x values together, divide them by 2, and that's going to give us our new coordinate. Okay, and we're going to do the same with our y values. We're going to add them together and we're going to divide them by 2. Now, I want you guys to notice how when we calculated for the distance, when we were looking for the distance between 2 coordinates, we had an answer, just one answer. It was a length. So it was 2 units or 5 units, something along those lines. But when I'm calculating for the midpoint, I'm not going to get a length or just one answer. What I'm going to get is I'm going to get a new set of coordinates. I'm going to get a new set of coordinates. Okay, that means I'm going to have a new x value and a y value. I'm going to have 2 different values that make up a coordinate. Okay, it will not be just a distance or anything of that sort. I will get a new coordinate. Okay, I hope you guys understand. We're going to do this quick example that they give us over here. Okay, so if I want to find the midpoint of a B, and that's how we write it, I'm going to open brackets because I am looking for a coordinate, right? And then I can choose whichever one I would like x1 to be. That's x1 and y1, and x2 and y2. I'm going to take x1, which is 6, and plus x2, which is -4. All of that divided by 2. And my y1 is -3 plus y2, which is 1 divided by 2. And that's going to give me 6 minus 4 will give me 2 over 2, which is 1. And -3 plus 1 is -2 over 2, which is -1. And you guys see how I get a brand new set of coordinates. I'm not going to get just a number, something with units. My new answer is going to be another set of coordinates. Okay. Do we understand this? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Quick answer in the chat for me. Thank you, Sbongo Musa and Nyasha. Excellent, excellent. Well done, guys. Okay, this stuff is quite easy. I have to admit it's quite easy. Okay, but we will have a couple of challenging questions. What I would like us to do, guys, is I would like us to calculate the midpoint of A, B, C, and D only. Okay, we do not have to go any further than that. Okay, just A, B, C, and D. And when you're done with those, I'm going to give you guys, I'll give you guys 3 minutes or maybe 4 minutes, a minute a question, because this is quite an easy one. You guys can just put done and whatever emoji you guys would feel like putting in the chat for me. Okay, you guys have 4 minutes, go for it. Sure, you guys are quite fast. Sure. But this is quite easy, I'll admit. It is quite easy. Okay. I'll give everyone else 1 more minute and then we can continue. Well done. Well done, guys. All right, guys, I'm going to start putting answers down. Okay. Yes, Chinameriam, we are. We are still going to have lessons over the holidays. Miss Marlies will be back next week and she will continue with analytical geometry as we're doing now. Okay. Guys, don't forget the boot camp as well. I don't know if you guys have signed up for the boot camp. Excellent. Okay, we will see you guys then. It's online. It's online, Chinamere. The bootcamp is online. It's going to be on Saturdays, and we will be taking you guys through exam prep. Okay. So it'll be all the hard questions and how to tackle exams so that you're not overwhelmed, that kind of thing. Okay. Sure. Excellent, Boucher. Just make sure that your answers look just like mine. Okay. Sure, Mbali. That's no issues. Okay. Remember, we do record them. I'm not sure if they will be available, but I will ask. Okay. Orikaniso, if you want to write 5/2 instead of 2,5, that's fine. It's actually better. The only reason I'm changing these into decimals is because it's an easy enough fraction for me to put into a decimal. Okay, but if you leave it as a fraction, that's correct as well. In fact, I think in mathematics we prefer the fraction over the decimal, because some fractions have like multiple decimals that come after it, and it doesn't help. Okay. Zero. Ma'am, is this the only method when dealing with midpoints? Balisa, as far as I know, yes. I haven't seen any other method that could possibly be used for midpoint, or I don't know of any other method. I could possibly ask other mathematicians that I know, but as far as I know, this is the answer. Okay, this is the only method that we have at the moment. All right, guys, I'm going to assume everyone's done by now. Can I see a mark out of 4? How much did we get? I'm hoping everyone got 4 out of 4. Excellent. Well done, guys. Yeah, finally, Tiamo. There we go. But you did get 4 out of 4 in the other one as well. Yes. Well done, guys. Nice, Isa. Okay. Excellent. Sure. Okay, you guys are crushing it. All right, we're gonna have to see if we can give you guys something a bit more challenging. Okay. It's not quite that hard. It's a quadrilateral. Okay. And we're going to have to use the idea of the midpoint and of the distance formula to figure out what's happening here. Okay, so it says an inaccurate sketch of quadrilateral ABCD is given. P, Q, R, and S are the midpoints of AB, BC, CD, and DA, respectively. Find the coordinates of P, Q, R, and S. We can do a rapid fire round. Okay. Any answer that you have for P, Q, R, and S, please drop it in the chat for me. Let's see what you guys get. I want to see who can move faster than I can. Let's go. I think I may be moving a little too fast. I will slow down a little bit. I'll give you guys some time. I'll give you guys some time. For Misa, remember, when we're writing it, we always write the letter. So you write P and you put your brackets around it, and then your coordinates inside that brackets. Okay, that's very important. Yes, Mbali, how can I help? Oh, Mbali's gone. Okay. That's okay. That's okay. It's just the way that we write it in maths so that we know what you're talking about. Because that over there just looks like a 2 and a 5, and we don't actually know what it means. But if you write the P and the 2 and the 5 together, that shows us that it's actually coordinates on a Cartesian plane. Okay. Okay, that's fine, Mbali. Munete, I'm not sure how you got -9 and 5 for P. Just have a look again. Oh, I know what you've done. Munete, you've got -7 minus 11, and we are not minusing, guys. We are adding. It's addition. Okay. Right. Fumisa, check your answer as well. Hi, Buntle. I absolutely understand load shedding is such a buzzkill. We were just working on the distance and the midpoint formula. I think because the lesson is almost over, you're going to have to watch the recording because we are right at the end of the lesson today. Okay. But thanks for coming in to join us. This one is 9 and 4. I agree with you guys. Fumisa, it's not P, it's actually Q that is 9 and 4. P is the one that I calculated first. Okay, the midpoint of A and B. Okay, so the midpoint of D and C. Yeah, there we go, Fumisa. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, this is what I get for R, guys. Wonder if somebody else has already calculated. Kro, please check for me again how you got 2 and -2 for R. That's correct, Chinameram. Well done. Good. Isa is confirming my answer for R, the midpoint of DC. And I want someone to give me the midpoint of AD, please. Give me the answer for the midpoint of AD. Okay. I'm seeing that S, or the midpoint of AD, is -3 and 0. I'm going to confirm that. I want to see if it's actually correct. Okay. And it is indeed -6 divided by 2 is -3. Okay, and 4 minus 4 is 0. Ronelle, please check again how you got. There we go. Oh, Kloklo sees what he did wrong. Okay, good. All right. Okay. Thumbs up, thumbs down, guys. How are we feeling about finding the midpoint? Easy stuff, right? Okay. Excellent. Okay, now we have to look at question B. Question B says, find the length of PQ, of QR, and RS and SP, and tell me what you guys figure out. So now what we're going to be using is we're going to be using P and Q and finding the length. Remember, use the distance formula, and then use R and S. Yes, Mbali, where have I lost you? Okay, this is the question we're doing, guys. That one, question B. Four minus 4. It's because over here for AD, I've got 4, and over here I've got -4. So because we're adding them, I'm going to get 4 plus -4 over 2. And a positive and a negative is just going to give me a negative again. So I can just write 4 minus 4. over 2. Okay. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Okay, excellent. All right, guys. So now we're finding the length of PQ. Remember, I'll write down the distance formula on this side again for those of you who want to remember the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared, the square root of that whole thing. Please find me the distance of PQ. Let's start with PQ, guys. I'm going to move over a little bit. There we have another 5 square root 2. Let's see, okay, PQ is equal to the square root of 9 minus 2 squared plus 4 minus 5 squared. And that will give me 7 squared plus -1 squared, which will equal to the square root of 50. 49 plus 1 will give me the square root of 50. Good, guys. Then they're asking for just the length of QR. Please give me the length of QR. The question asks for the length of QR. QR is going to be 9 minus 4 squared plus 4 minus 1 will give me 4 plus 1 squared, which is equal to the square root of 9 minus 4 will give me 5 squared plus 5 squared, 5 squared plus 5 squared, that's 25 plus 25, that's the square root of 50, which is 5 square root 2. If you're getting 5 root 2, okay, that's correct. Isa, I don't know how you got negative square root 50. Your distances cannot be negative. If I'm going anywhere, the distance can never be negative. So please check again. It will always be positive. Thank you, Teacher Kant. All right, and then it says, look for the distance of RS. Has anybody got the distance RS? Okay, if we look at RS, we're going to look at -3 minus 4 squared plus 0 minus -1, which is plus 1 squared. This is equal to the square root of -7 squared plus 1 squared, which is equal to the square root of 50. I think I see where we're going here. Yes, Buncle.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am, I would like to ask, when we're doing the distance formula for QR, right?
Yes.
Why did we add in the bracket 4 plus 1 instead of minusing it?
Because same reason that I just explained to Mbali just now, I'm going to go
Yes,
4 minus -1. So it'll be 4 minus -1, and that's
Yes,
going to give
ma'am.
me negative, and a negative is 4 plus 1.
Yes,
So I
ma'am.
just skipped the step. I probably shouldn't skip steps, but yes. Okay. If your
No, it's
brain
okay.
works fast enough, you can skip that step. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Okay, guys. Anyone get an answer for PS? I think I know where PS is going as well. Okay. Yes, Luanele.
Ma'am, for the
Hello.
distance formula, is it y2 minus y1, or is it y1?
Yes.
It doesn't
matter which order you do it in, Ranele. So if you choose this one to be Y2 and that one to be Y1, that's perfectly fine. The only thing that you need to do is make sure that if this is Y1, this is also X1. And if this is Y2, this is also X2. So you can't switch around the X1s and the X2s. If your X2 is somewhere, it needs to be right next to your Y2. Okay, and if your X1 is somewhere, it needs to be right next to your Y1. The order in which you do them doesn't really matter. Okay, you can choose whichever one you want. to go first. Okay. I hope that makes sense. You get to choose whichever one you want to go first. And I'm guessing that PS will also be 50. So you guys will notice if you guys did it the other way around, you're going to get the exact same answer that I got. It doesn't matter in which order you put your X2 and your X1. It doesn't matter. As long as your X2 and your Y2 are matching and your Y1, your X1 and your Y1 are matching. All right. So guys, tell me in the chat, what can be deduced about the quadrilateral PQRS? I agree with you, Chinararam. I agree. What do you guys notice? It has equal, not diagonals, not particularly diagonals. Equal sides. Yes, I agree. It has equal sides. What that's telling me is that I can't call them diagonals, because what they actually mean is that this distance is, and that distance is equal, and that distance is equal, and that distance is equal. So I don't particularly think that it's a quadrilateral, it's a square. I think that it has, or that, oh yes, PQRS is a square, not ABCD. I was looking at it, I was like, ABCD? No, it's not ABCD, it's PQRS. Yes, you guys are correct. PQRS is a square because it has equal sides.
Could be a rhombus too, though.
It
You
could
can't
be a rhombus.
exactly
Yes, actually, now that you're saying that, all we can say is that PQRS is equidistant. We can call it equidistant. Equidistant, which means all the distances on each side are equal. Okay, so it could either be a square or a rhombus, one or the other. Okay, at this point, because it's slanted a bit, I think we would rather call it a rhombus than a square, but it depends on where you're looking at it from. Okay, all right, guys, this is it. This is it from us today. I'm going to see